It's 2025 and Novak Djokovic is still winning at Grand Slam level. I don't know why you all keep doubting him. We know how good he is. We know he can win these matches, and he's beaten Sasha Zverev. On the women's, we've had some shocks. Boisson beating Andreeva, my champion. Coco Gauff beating Keys in 3 sets. And business as usual for Jannik Sinner.
That's right, the quarterfinals are over. And my man, Novak Djokovic, I never doubted him. He is through to the semifinals. I was watching it. I thought we were going to be in for the 5-setter, but Sasha Zverev just seemed to fade away in this match. Too many errors against a Djokovic who was playing good tennis, but didn't really even need to get out of about third gear, I'd say, after that second set. And like you said, Jannik Sinner looking absolutely ridiculously immense as always. That middle set was good from Bublik, but it was split between 2 bakery items. Boisson, oh, we keep saying the name, and she's still here. The French crowd were loving her as well. And obviously, like you were saying, Coco Gauff through, my world number 1 for the end of the year. Can she win Roland Garros? One step closer.
Yeah, it was an interesting day. We're going to go through all of it, but there's only one place to start, and that is Novak Djokovic.
Come on.
I did think Zverev was going to win today. I feel I've read this same script many times. I should probably print it out and laminate it and have it here so I can read it every time. And every time we do these episodes, I got it wrong with Novak Djokovic in the fact that I thought Sasha Zverev was going to beat him. I was actually secretly confident as well. I watched most of the match, waiting to message Ben and say, "Oh, I told you so." Just never happened because the first set looked great in terms of Zverev taking it. I think he's just, for me, it was a tactical masterclass from Novak Djokovic. I think the levels of the two players are both very high. There's no doubt in that. Technically, Zverev's a good player. Djokovic, a great player, fantastic player. Technically, they're both perfect. However, this was not one on technicalities. It wasn't even one on just movement or anything like that, or physicality. It was just one in the brain. And Novak Djokovic is so smart. His IQ is incredible. And he played an aggressive brand of tennis today against Sasha Zverev, who didn't want to take too many risks. He didn't want to take too many risks. He was passive on some big moments. On a break point, he hit a smash straight back to Djokovic. Need to risk a little bit more. Watch Jannik Sinner. Watch Carlos Alcaraz, the way they play. Of course, they're a lot younger. Of course, they're, you could say, better players, but still they take risks. That's how you win tennis matches. At this level, you can't play it safe. And I've learned a lot from this match here today. And that's why it's important to start here, because I think everyone in the tennis world now understand that Sasha Zverev will never win a Grand Slam. I'm almost convinced it cannot happen. He is the greatest player to ever play the game without winning the Grand Slam, but yet he's never going to win one, because it's clear to me he just does not have what it takes. He doesn't know how to tactically change his game up. Djokovic, it was clear he was aggressive. He then played the drop shots pretty much 80% of the time.
Yep.
He brought him in, lobbed him, passed him, and moved him around.
Good
and
drop
he had
shots
no answers. The drop shots, by the way, probably the best I've ever seen Djokovic with the drop shots. I remember there was that season about 4 years ago where we called him Drop Shotovic because he tried it every single shot pretty much at Roland Garros, and most of the time it fouled. It has been the theme of his play in the later years. He's been a lot more dominant on the serve these sort of last 6 years, 5, 6 years. And the serve has been very important, as Gary says. Shout out to Gary. But also, alongside the serve, it's been the drop shot. And together, the two of them today were perfect. And it worked very, very well. I'm fascinated to see if it can work against Sinner. I don't believe it can. But how many times have I said Novak Djokovic can't win? And he did. I didn't think he could beat Carlos Alcaraz at the Australian Open start of the year. I didn't think he could beat him on the clay of Roland Garros in the final to get the gold medal. And Djokovic has proved me wrong time and time again. This Zverev one, I did feel Zverev was going to win. I was secretly confident, but I'm not massively shocked that he's beaten him. I knew it was pretty close. The bookmakers had Djokovic as a marginal favourite before the match. Against Sinner, though, this will be a massive shock. He will be a huge underdog against Sinner. And for him to take a set or two would be a surprise to many.
Yeah, especially considering
Maybe not you.
how he's got on in the last few meetings, but it's normally decided on tie breaks between those two. I'll give you my thoughts on the Zverev match and how Djokovic performed. And it was almost like I've seen the playbook time and time again from Djokovic against Zverev. And I even was saying to my other half as we were watching the match, we was watching one of those really grueling long rallies, backhand to backhand, backhand to backhand, backhand to backhand, backhand. It was about 20 shots, one of these. And I just said, he's going for the drop shot in a second. And then literally the next shot went, boom, drop shot, Zverev in, and then Djokovic wins from that. It was that same pattern. And I feel that Djokovic doesn't really want to be in those super long rallies. And that's where his like get out clause a little bit. But he mastered it in this game. And Zverev just wasn't wise to the drop shot. So quite a lot of errors from Zverev as well, I'd say. When the first set was good. The second set errors were just starting to sprinkle in, and Djokovic, he reduced the errors. So that was just more consistency. I wouldn't say that level was anything like super special from Djokovic. I've seen much better Djokovic before. That was just enough to get past Zverev. Didn't look like Zverev put up much of a real test. I like the long rallies, but I always felt like Djokovic, when he won that second set, he looked like he was going to go on and win the match. And I felt quite confident about it as well. I know he had that little wobble when he had to save break point with a 41-shot rally, albeit not bad for a 38-year-old to do that. That's the one where he had the smash Zverev, went back to him. Yeah. But this guy at this age, I just thought in a slam against Zverev, despite Zverev having these dreams and all of what he's having, when you come up against Djokovic, who's got something to motivate him and he's looking to actually achieve another goal, Zverev doesn't have that mentality that Djokovic has. Like he has a high level, but he doesn't have the mental side of the game. And Scott Barkley's put out a tweet. I think we should go to this one. It says, too many people told Alexander Zverev when he was younger that he'd win major titles, and he thought it would just happen. And Gil Gross says, I believe this is 100% accurate.
Yeah, no, it's a good thought. I never thought of it like that, but it's completely true. So Zverev is just not going to win one. He's a great technical player, but he's brain dead at times. And some of the performances we've seen of late, especially today, just show that. Like, what is he doing? He's 5-18 in matches against top 10 players at major level. So 21.7% win rate. He's better than that for sure. It should be around sort of at least 40-50% double with his ability, if not higher. And I just don't think tactically he's got enough. He's not got what it takes at all. So it's a really important day in the tennis calendar, I feel, because this is the day for me where I've acknowledged and realised that Zverev is not going to be, he's not cut out to win a Grand Slam. Djokovic as well is showing that he can still play at the big table. The difference is, I don't think beating a Zverev or a Tsitsipas these days is that great of an achievement like it was. Even a Medvedev to some regard. I believe the new generation of player in your Alcarazes, your Runa even, Sinner of course, Musetti right now, Fonseca's, obviously he's a bit lower down and taking some time to get up there. Draper, I find that it's more impressive for Djokovic to be able to beat them guys than it is the old next gen. In your likes of your Tsitsipas, Zverev, Medvedev, that crew of players, I just don't think they're
kind of more desire, don't they, on the tennis court?
There's something missing with them. There's something really missing. There's a block. And Zverev, I think, Djokovic will be so pleased playing any of them names I've just mentioned. He'll love all of them. He's played them, 10 times, maybe more, 15 times? I don't even know. He's played them so many times, and he beats them most of the time, especially now. In fact, when he was earlier on, they used to come a bit closer here and there. But I just don't see it at the moment. And that's with Djokovic getting older and older. And we've been left with the Fantastic Four. I don't know if you're going to bring up the graphic, because we have 3 of the best young players in the world: Sinner, Musetti, Alcaraz, and Novak Djokovic, still doing it at his age. It's incredible, really, that he's at this table with these 4 players. And there's a nice meme as well, which I quite like with these 4.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
I sent it to you. I'll have a look now. It's from Shahiri, and it is the Roland Garros 2025 semi-finalist.
Yeah,
You've got Musetti 2002, he was born. Alcaraz 2003, Yannick Sinner 2001, Djokovic 1987, and well, it's quite easy to spot Djokovic here.
I like it. Yeah, it really is a bit like that, isn't it? It just feels that Djokovic is that the oldest kid in the class, but yeah, he's not been held back. That's for sure. He's definitely one who is just keeps on achieving. If anything, it's like Djokovic is at university, just getting master's degree after master's degree, and they're at university with him. I think rather than the high school or wherever this is, primary school. But yeah, that is a funny one. I love that. This one is quite a funny one as well, because we are going to be talking about Yannick Sinner and his dominant performance. I said Bublik might win a set, and Bublik almost agrees. He says, I almost got him, guys. This was his comment under this result. 6-1, 7-5, 6-love. Yeah, I mean, one set was all right.
Yeah, I think this is quite a good moment, actually, to go through some of our quarterfinal predictions, because obviously they're all over. And I was very, very confident going into them that I'd beat you, because I said I always beat you in these quarterfinal predictions. And I must admit, even me, I'm finding it hard to celebrate this victory. I beat you by 1 point, but it was very, very lucky in the sense that you got all of them correct, right? You got all of the winners right. You knew it was going to be Musetti, Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic. I feel like for that you should probably win, but you didn't get the right set score, Ben. And I've got Alcaraz in straights, Sinner in straights, and a Musetti win, and that was enough. I didn't even need to get the last one. What was going on in your mind to think that Bublik could take a set? You said afterwards, "Oh, that's a stupid one." Sinner people are struggling to find games, let alone sets against him. Bublik took another 27 minutes to get a game on the board. He had the hand in the air celebration. Same with Greek Sport. Same with Casper Ruud in Rome. And same with, who was the other one? Lehechka, the other one. He's been crushing everyone. What made you think that Bublik was going to be any different? And brace yourself as well, Ben, because next up he's got Novak Djokovic, and his head-to-head is very favourable. Novak Djokovic does not have the answers to beat Yannick Sinner. He struggles in that matchup. We've got the Bermuda Triangle of Alcaraz, Sinner, Djokovic. And bring it up. Bring up the Bermuda Triangle as well, because
is there a Bermuda Triangle now?
We've got a Bermuda Triangle.
Let me have a look at this.
Between the 3 of them, and that's Alcaraz. He's gone 4-1 against Sinner. Sinner 4-1 against Djokovic. Djokovic 4-1 against Alcaraz. Is it going to break during Roland Garros?
Let me bring this up. Okay. Oh my word. It's literally it's getting so exciting though, and I love all the narratives that are going on. People feel free to have a go at me in the comments section over me picking Bublik to win a set. I thought that might just be the difference between me winning and losing, and it actually proved to be. I thought that was going to win me it, and all it did was ended up losing me the predictions. If I had just gone Djokovic in 4, why didn't I go Djokovic in 4? Silly, but yeah, I expected Zverev to turn up, and he only turned up for a set. The one thing that I would say about Yannick Sinner, I don't know if you've noticed this or if you've chosen to watch any of his highlights on YouTube, but they become quite annoying because all you hear is the same thing each time. Je Sinner. Like that is like, Je Sinner.
Mate, you don't need to watch the highlights for Sinner. The matches are the highlights. They're not very long at all. You got 2 hours of just a pure beast. at his peak athletic fitness,
Can you
at his
imagine being
top
the opponent, like
capabilities.
being down the other end, and you're just like waiting for it? As soon as you hit it out, and it just goes, "Ah, ja, sinner," and then you end up walking to the net again. You're like, "Oh no,
Here
another
comes
game gone."
Luigi. Luigi's bobbing back again.
But
Another win for
let's talk about
Luigi.
his actual tennis, though, because in that match against Bublik did play pretty well in some of the match, but Yannick Sinner's movement is just, it's on another level. He just gets around the court so fast. And you think you're going to play a drop shot against him, good luck, because he is right at the net and then he's putting you on the back foot or passing you within a second. I don't know what you have to do to beat him right now. I don't even know if Djokovic has the code to the safe to be able to get the master plan, the blueprint to be able to beat Yannick Sinner right now. But if anybody has it, it might be Carlos Alcaraz or Djokovic. They're the only two.
And that's why this tournament has hotted up big time, because the draw, I think, is perfect. I love some of the matchups we're getting. First with the women's, we get to see an Iga Sabalenka very soon, imminent. That's going to be very interesting. We've not seen it in a Grand Slam for a while, and I don't know which way that one's going to go. I still can't make my mind up on the prediction. Sinner Djokovic, we get to see how Sinner fares against this Djokovic who's just demolished Zverev. So it's fresh that he's just beaten Zverev. We know what level he's at. We've seen what he's done tactically against Zverev. What tactical, what can he do tactically, and what can he adopt in his game in this match against Sinner? Because it's not easy. We've seen him do it against Medvedev before, when he's come to the net a lot more and stopped any time for Daniel Medvedev, and it was very effective. I think that was at Paris a few times.
Yep.
I don't know what he can even do against Sinner, but I'm really looking forward to it. And then, of course, we've then either got a Djokovic final with Alcaraz, or potentially.
Do not rule out Lorenzo.
Potentially.
How dare you?
And then we've got, or most commonly, we're probably going to get a Sinner Alcaraz final at a Grand Slam. So there's so much to be played here at Roland Garros. And there's 3 or 4 of the matches I'm very fascinated to see.
Yes, this one is definitely one which you just can't miss it, really. Credit to Novak Djokovic, I think, just because even though he's not been having a great year on tour, he's still doing well in the slams. What did he get? Semi-finals, but retired injured at the Australian Open, and now semi-finals at Roland Garros. So he's not having a bad year in the tournaments that matter to him. He got his 100th title when there was something on the line. He was able to win in Geneva, get another medal just to make up another part of his trophy cabinet. And if we rewind all the way back to our predictions at the beginning of the year, I know it's a crazy thing to have said at the time, but I thought Roland Garros would be Djokovic's best slam of 2025. I didn't think he'd win Australia. I didn't think he'd win Wimbledon or the US Open. I picked Roland Garros because I thought the speed of the actual rallies will be he'll have more time because of the ball. Obviously, there's a longer time for it to bounce, that type of thing. It may give him a little bit. The serve isn't as important, which he relies on, but he won't get outplayed in the rallies. Like in the Australian Open, I think Sinner would just batter him off the court, sadly, at this age. And whereas at Roland Garros, a little bit longer to get back into rallies.
At Roland Garros, he will still get battered off the court, but it might be a bit closer.
Sinner. I don't know. Yeah.
Are you telling me you think this Yannick Sinner will lose to this Novak Djokovic?
I don't know. Just looking at them on the screen, they just look so different in age. It just worries me just looking. But as a Djokovic fan, you have to always believe that when there's something on the line and when he's playing well, he can achieve anything. We saw it against Alcaraz at the Olympics.
Have you seen Yannick Sinner? Have you seen him playing?
I have. But anyone can have an off day. That's what anyone can have an off day. And I think, and I've said it in other podcasts as well, I do think if Djokovic is to win another slam, it will require some help from up above, maybe. I don't know where it's going to come from. It may require something happening during the match that Sinner gets, like, goes off the boil for. It only needs to take one game or a tie break, a few points. If he can get to a tie break, then he's got a chance. Always.
There we go. You've heard it there from Ben. He needs an intervention from God or Jesus Christ for Djokovic to win this
He's a very
match.
religious man, is Novak Djokovic. So
Let's move on to the next story.
okay,
So it's a
go
big
on.
one.
It is.
Boisson means
Oh.
beverage in French. She beat Coco Gauff. Before this tournament, we didn't know very much about her at all.
Beat
We was
Mira
joking
Andreeva,
on the last
actually.
one. Sorry?
She beat Mira Andreeva.
Apologies. She beat Mira Andreeva. She's going to be playing Coco Gauff next.
Correct.
She beat Madison Keys. And yeah, we didn't know anything really about her. We know that one moment with Harriet Dart where Harriet Dart said that she smelled and she needed deodorant. Someone sent that to me the other day and it reminded me of, well, because I forgot about that was her, but now it's all come back to me. Can she go on and beat Coco Gauff? I don't think so. I feel like this was a prime example of a young 18-year-old Mira Andreeva realizing that she's 18 years old with a tough, hostile French crowd who are booing and cheering every single thing what was happening and going against her constantly, line calls, getting on her back. The pressure become too much. And you know what? It's okay. She's 18 years old.
Yeah.
What she's doing is ridiculous. Fonseca can't do what she's doing right now. She is the best young player in the world across both the men's and the women's sports. Of course, they're both different sports and different disciplines in their own way. But across the both of them, she is the best young player in the world. And you just need to put it all into perspective. She's had a fantastic year. We've seen her do well in Masters. She's just reached a quarterfinal of Roland Garros. She did lose against a player you'd expect her to beat, but it got to her. And it was just like with Carlos Alcaraz in Paris when he lost to Hugo Gaston. It felt very much the same thing. Got in his head. He couldn't handle it. The French are powerful. The French crowds are powerful. French players are powerful. Just ask Daniel Medvedev. He can't beat any French players. And it was a prime example of them all rallying behind. We've seen it with Monfils over the years. And Mira Andreeva realised that she's 18 years old.
Yeah, I think you got to give even Mira Andreeva credit because she did actually play very well. I think, especially in the first set, I thought she took the match by the horns, and she was actually leading in that first set. Boisson had to save, was it 3 or 4 set points? She saved one at 5-3, and then saved some at I think it was the other way around. Actually, it was Mira Andreeva then saved 3 set points when it was 6-5. Apologies. Then she saved another one in the tiebreak. So it was 2 set points saved by Boisson, 3 set points saved by Mira Andreeva. But she got it done in that tiebreak. And what I hold my hands up. I haven't watched much of her tennis this tournament, but this match I did watch. And I think she's actually got a very awkward style to deal with. She has a lot of variety in her game. She really mixes everything up very well and hits it so deep. Like Mira Andreeva could barely get the ball like inside like the service box when she was returning, and she really had to give it some welly to get it into the corners. And you know how young she is. She's still like working out her power. Her body's not really fully formed yet to get the full power on the tennis court. But she was still digging out some winners here and there. But Boisson, incredible. I thought that she's stepping up to the occasion. And in the second set, she was even down a break then. But then she broke serve 3 times in a row. The crowd definitely helped. But I think that we've got to give her the credit because she could have quite easily let the moment get to her. And she didn't. She embraced it.
Definitely, and I agree with what you said. I think she played a good performance today, and she's a pretty good player. A lot better than what her ranking suggests. She's the lowest ranked Grand Slam semi-finalist in the last 40 years at Roland Garros, and the last player to win a Grand Slam was Raducanu, who was 361 in the world, exactly the same as what she was when she come in, which is interesting. So when Raducanu won the US Open, she was 361, the same as Boisson right now. Is it written in the stars, 361? I don't think so. But the other thing I was going to speak about is her earnings. I don't know if you've seen it.
Yep, got
I'll
that
send
one
you a
as
tweet.
well. Sorry, didn't know which one you were going to go to next.
No, I like this one because in her whole career, she's made $148,000. Not bad, but obviously taxes and everything. And then after reaching the Roland Garros semi-final, she's going to leave with at least 788,000, quadrupling her career earnings in less than 2 weeks. So it just puts into perspective how life-changing this is, not just for points, not just for experience in her tennis, but also for her bank account.
Yes. Gives me shades of when Karatsev got to the semi-finals in the Australian Open. We were doing some of the similar stats back then, I remember.
I was going to say Marchenko.
No, but Karatsev, the one that we interviewed before his big run, we were watching him on the Challenger Tour, tearing it up. We thought he was a good person to get on the podcast, and then he went on to superstardom. He's fallen off a bit these days, it has to be said, but he did have his moment in the sun. And Boisson's having her moment in the sun right now. Can she win the whole thing?
No.
Is that too crazy?
Yes.
A thought right now.
Yes.
Like Coco Gauff's good, but is she good enough to go against the crowd?
Yes.
Okay.
She's older. She's more experienced. She's not Mirra Andreeva. Mirra Andreeva in a few years' time would never lose to a Boisson at a Roland Garros. It's an inexperience thing for me and the age. I feel Coco Gauff, despite her age, is super experienced. She's been here time and time again. 21 years old, but it's her third time into the semi-finals of Roland Garros.
Yep. And she's obviously been asked the question about the crowd, and she's going to embrace it. I think I found a tweet earlier, and I'll try and find it, but she's pretty much said, come on, I have a home slam, and I know what it's like to be on the other side. So I know what it's like to have everyone cheering for you. So it's only fair that I should have to be the shoe on the other foot, really, and everyone cheering against me for a change. And she said she's going to pick one of two ways to go, I think. She's either going to, she said sometimes she pretends they're cheering for her. That's what one of her tactics is. And the other one is she just focuses and tries to use all of the negative energy to harness her game and then just fight against it. So which one's she going to pick? I quite like the first one, to be honest. Just think that they're cheering for you.
Yeah, Coco is a good player, and I think that she will be fine against Boisson. I think Boisson, it's one of them matches what feels like we've seen it many times in the past. It was a big statement win. It took everything out of her emotionally. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not very competitive in this next one, because I feel like for her tournament's already been won. Do you know what I mean? Like that victory in itself and all the moment and all the messages she's receiving, she's already achieved so much. For Coco Gauff, she's not achieved nowhere near enough yet. If she doesn't win the whole thing, for her, this tournament's not been a success. For Iga, Sabalenka, and Coco Gauff, they need the trophy for this to be a successful event. Nothing else will be successful. A final will be disappointing more than anything. Boisson has already had a success. She's already won in her own eyes. So that's the big difference there. And with Mirra Andreeva, she's not played enough at this Grand Slam level, especially against a hostile crowd. But she'll get there, I'm sure. Obviously, we will speak about Iga and Sabalenka. Maybe we'll do a video dedicated to that tomorrow morning to release and speak about that. And obviously the other semi-finals as well.
Yes, definitely. Coco Gauff's match against Madison Keys, it wasn't straightforward. She ended up winning it in 3 sets. Madison Keys, very competitive in the first set. She started well. Coco Gauff started a bit slow and got broken straight away. Or actually got broken on her first 2 3 service games, but then managed to battle back, which was impressive, but then eventually lost it on the tiebreak. I thought that this match was just littered with inconsistent tennis, but with some great tennis as well mixed in. If you take a look, I'm just going to put it up on the screen for you to see. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. 60 unforced errors from Madison Keys in this one, and 41 from Coco Gauff. Only 15 winners from Gauff. And she got it done again, but got it done a bit ugly again. But this is just about winning tennis matches at this stage in the competition. Doesn't matter how you get through, just that you get through. And I still think that her forehand's looking a lot better in this tournament. I like Coco Gauff. Her backhand's always really, really solid. Madison Keys, I think she can be pleased with this tournament. I didn't expect her to be going this far, to be honest, but quarterfinals is a decent run for her. Coco Gauff, we expected her to win. I expected it to be more convincing. I thought it'd be straight sets. But yeah, you can see the stats tell the story, really.
Yeah, and I have nothing more to say on it. So thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. And I'm just going to end with some of the things Novak Djokovic is talking about right now. Let's see if I can find it. He was asked if he's ever played as many drop shots in a match. And he said, maybe against Rafa. I don't know. I've played too many matches to remember, to be honest. I mean, against the wind, especially that side where I was playing the last game, I felt the wind increased in the last few games. So he was using the wind to help him. Obviously, this is happening as we're filming this, so I've not been able to read it before. But I thought that was quite interesting. And I'm glad they're asking about the drop shots, because I've never seen him play so many drop shots. And Zverev was clueless to it. It's like we all knew it was going to happen, and he just didn't know how to react.
Yeah, I saw another tweet and it said he just stood behind the baseline waiting for the errors. That's not something you can do against the greatest of all time. Novak proceeded to hit 36 drop shots.
It was, the thing is, it was so obvious. I'm glad everyone's now saying the same things as what we are. Yeah. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments section, though. We're going to wrap this one up, and we'll see you for the semi-finals very soon.